Peace and light, that old guy Australia coming to you from beautiful south coast. A little cloudy today, bit of rain overnight, but still lovely. And this is our wonderful harbour. I'll just show you quickly because I like to show Martin James, you're watching. I'll do it slowly. There we go. That's the entrance to the harbour there. There's big rock walls over there. On the other side of that wall is a big ocean pool called the Bruce Deer Pool. Fantastic. There we go. Hope it's showing up okay. Hope I'm not moving too quickly. And it goes around. And there's the harbour over there. There's my mate Dave over there working over at the bloody slipway. Back to me you come. Now, many of you know that I do these videos and I do them off the cuff. I don't have any script, hands in my pocket. I haven't got a script, I'm just walking around talking. And thank you for those who know that what I say is my opinion. You know, it doesn't have to be truth, it's my truth, and we've all got our truth, and that's just mine. I never ask people to agree with it. I don't ask people to say that, you know, my truth is ants pants. But let me tell you something about truth. All your life, and including all my life, we've been in a situation where we've tried to work out not just our reason for being, but what's real and what's not real, what's factual, what's not factual. We're taken to school, we've put through years and years of forced education, and you're told, this is history, these are the books, see what's written in them? This is the truth. This is the truth. Learn it, learn it, learn it, and then we'll test you to make sure we've got it pushed into your fucking brain until that's all you can think of, is what we tell you. This is it. This is actuality. This is history. This is science. This is geography. This is everything. You need to know it exactly as we tell you, and here it is. Now, you need to get over 50% to get a pass mark. And we grew up in that era. All of us have been through this, you know. And in the last 10 years, I began to question everything. Let me take you back. It's 1973. I'm 64 on Sunday, by the way. Happy birthday to me. It's 1973. Right? I'm 15 years old. I'd been taken out of my house where I'd been adopted into through the most horrendous sexual and physical and emotional abuse you could ever wish upon a person. It was just horrendous. And the mother of that family was the main instigator. Her brother, when he found out about it, took me out and took me into Bermagui, in this little town, and put me with another family where I finished my schooling and grew up. But by then, I was damaged. I was utterly fucking destroyed. I was a mess. I was a mess. And most of the kids, probably 98% of people, had no idea why I was there. They didn't question me, they didn't know what I'd been through. They had no idea. And so I began a life of alcohol and drugs, and also of sheer carnal pleasure. I threw myself into it wholeheartedly. I figured, in my own immature way, that the world owed me. I'd been put through this hell. I'd been lied and lied and lied to. And I was going to get out of the world whatever I could. And I didn't give a shit who I hurt. What I did, what I said didn't make any difference to me. I had absolutely, my moral compass was shot and destroyed. Damaged beyond repair, almost. It was a horrendous life. Because to live that kind of life, you got to live a lie. And I lived a lie. I was a good kid. I had a good, strong belief system and a knowledge of myself. And that was an illusion itself. An absolute illusion. To go to 1974, I'm sitting in a teepee in the middle of the caravan park here in Bermagui. Big teepee. There's a guy there and his wife or partner. And we're all hippies, smoking pot and whatever else. And there was this American guy there. So this is back in the days when people maybe had fax machines, and even if you did have a fax machine, you were pretty wealthy. No one really had anything. and the landline was about it. And there was this American guy there, and he had this sheaf of papers like this, like you couldn't believe. Now nowadays you could print it out and put all sorts of legitimate, unique looking headings on it, and you put the CIA on it if you wanted to. But back then you couldn't. And this shit was legit. I mean, excuse me. It was legit. Legit shit. So, he's showing me this stuff, and he's saying, look, I worked in a place called Area 51, and I stole this stuff. And I've been chased out of America, and I've come to Australia. I'm heading over to a place called Western Australia, and hopefully I can lose myself over there and get to work on some farm and nobody asked me any questions. And, and so he gave me this information, and I was reading it. Now, I was a pretty intelligent guy back then, before I killed as many brain cells as I managed to later on in life. And so I began reading the information, you know. And it didn't make a lot of sense to me. It was the weirdest stuff you've ever seen. There was information on there on anti-gravitational propulsion, all sorts of stuff. That aliens, blah, 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 blah. And he had mountains of this information. Now, we didn't even know what Area 51 was. We had no internet. We didn't have any TVs. I don't know what was going on. Didn't make any sense to me. But it was like, whoa, man, far out. And, it took me another 30 years to know what the hell I'd been reading. To discover what Area 51 is. To discover that there's 124 of these military bases around Australia, around the world, and one of the biggest ones right here in Australian Pine Gap, where 98% of the facility is underground and nobody knows what the hell's under there, because it's American sovereign space, including the airspace over the top, and even our airlines have got to divert around it. Or be shot down. We don't even know what's there. When you understand some of these things and you acknowledge some of these things, if you've got a mind that wants truth, you will take what you know and you'll sit it over there, right over there. Then you walk back down here, away from that truth, and you'll say, right, here I am, blank canvas, let's paint. And you'll begin to unpack and unravel what you were told, whether it be from health, whether it be from sickness, whether it be from science, whether it be from foods, whether it be from politics, whether it be from religion, no matter what it is, you'll begin to unpack it. And if you look at it objectively, without bias, you begin to see little cracks with light shining through, Brett Haddon. And that's what it is. There's cracks in everything. I mean, I can't explain it any better than Neo could. If you don't know who Neo is, then I'd suggest you go and watch the series. Because there's Hollywood telling you the reality of the world. Everything we have is an illusion. Everything. You've been sold an illusion. You're living an illusion. You're living a lie. You have, every day, tens of thousands of rules you follow. Tens of thousands. I'm holding a phone. I've had to register that phone. I've had to sign all sorts of contracts to get this phone, and I've had to give all sorts of details to the government about this phone, so they know exactly who I am, who owns the phone. You can't get, like they do in the movies, like in America, a burner, you know? You just can't do it. Not here. No. Everything's governed. I have to get in a vehicle. That vehicle has a million rules attached to it, from its registration to how I drive it, and everything costs money. You know, how I drive it is governed by rules. Everything is governed by rules. Everything. So, if you think these rules are put in place for the betterment of humanity, you'd only be partly right. And I mean, partly. The reason most of these rules are put in place is not for the betterment of humanity. They're to condition you. to accept rules, to accept being controlled. That's what it's all about. Decades and decades and decades of control until here we are today. And where we are today is the crux of history. This is one of the most monumental times in history. It's not a doom or gloom. It's not a gloom of doom. It is a time of excitement and empowerment. And let me tell you why. The fall of Rome is nothing compared to this. It's not. This is the beginning of the end of the beginning. When I've said to you that the only way you can remove the pus and the corruption and the evil from this world is for all of the establishment to be taken down and removed and replaced, that's what I mean. It's not that there's no establishment, not at all. And it's not that you can't have an establishment that's good, not at all, you can. It's just that what's there right now is as corrupt and as evil as could possibly be imagined. And believe me when I tell you, you can't imagine what's going on behind the scenes. You haven't a clue. I know probably 20% of what's going on. That's why I say to you, when the full extent of this corruption and this pure evil is exposed, a lot of people will simply die and recoil of horror. So many things are being shown nowadays. You know, from the additives of a certain product that's been added to most foods, or a lot of foodstuffs that you commercially buy in your local Aldi or Woolies store, and that particular product, how can I put this, has a smear of Soylent Green. And if you don't know what that is, just Google it and look it up. It's an additive to food products. These things are being exposed. In the last 10 years, I've really become blatantly aware of the deception and the illusion that we live in. The last 3 years, more so, since this bug hit. The lies and the corruption and the deception have been so good and so great. Now, I follow a lot of people, and I get information from those people. And a lot of that information forms a basis of my research and what I come to acknowledge as my own stance. Because that's what I have to do. And if that means denying some of the things that truth has put out there, then I'll do that as well. Now, why would I do that? Because I question them as well. I have to. If you're going to be real, if you're going to be unbiased, if you're going to be factual, you must question them as well. You know, look at me. I'm looking at myself now, just grey, old, hair all over the joint. Speaking of joints, no, but anyway. Another wonderful product that's been smeared and ridiculed and removed by the government, but they allow alcohol, which has one of the highest incidences of carcinogens and cancers of any drug on the planet. But they removed the one that would heal you. There's a reason for that. I don't care whether you get into pot or don't. It's nothing to do with me. But if you get into CBD oil, you'll understand what I mean. And we take it. Wow. What a massive, massive topic. You know, over the last few years, you know, when it became apparent of the lies and deception around the world, when the Trump election was handed over to Biden, I followed that, as most of you would know. I was a fanatic over it. And so we had all the information. The world had the information. We knew it was corrupted. We knew it had been stolen. We knew about the servers that the CIA had in Germany that had been taken. We knew about the satellite. We knew about the Vatican. We knew about London. We knew it all. And nothing happened. And we couldn't figure out why nothing happened. Everything is controlled. And we got all these people running around going, oh, white hats, white hats, white hats, trust the plan, white hats. And I'm like, no. You see, if you know anything about Freemasonry, you would know that when you get to the very higher echelons, the highest rankings you can get, 33-degree Mason. When you get to the top of the Masonic Lodge, that's when the truth is revealed, not before. Before that, you have an illusion of what you're doing and who you're worshipping. It's only when you get to the top that the truth is revealed. So even the acolytes down below aren't given the truth until it's embedded in the system. So if you think about it, why on earth would anybody know what plan is going on here in the world right now? Why would they? How would they? Do you think that these people with unlimited wealth and power are going to allow these things to become public knowledge? No. There will be an illusion of a win. There'll be an illusion that evil's been beaten. And people will rejoice only to realise that that's the trap they've been given, that there has been set that they'll fall into. And they'll be saying to me, no, Owen, no. Truly, we've won. And I'll be going, seriously, if you look behind you, back over the horizon, there's a tsunami coming. There's a tsunami coming. And it is going to hit you unaware, and you will be absolutely captured. So here's old blokes like me, grey-haired. In my generation, we were warriors. We didn't believe anything the government said. We hated what the government said. Through the Vietnam War, we didn't believe anything they said. Through the Gulf War, we believed nothing they said. Through the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, we believed nothing they said. Through thalidomide, we believed nothing they said. DDT, we believed nothing they said. And yet here we are now. So many people my age, once proud warriors for truth and justice, are now cowards. Cowering in the corner, fearful and afraid, controlled, manipulated and beaten. It sickens me. And as sad as I feel loathing as well. You were going to be the light, but you're not. You're dimmed. Sure, there's many of us who are grey-haired, and we're still there. I met some of them at the rallies in Canberra and Sydney. It was fantastic. But the vast majority are given in. Once were warriors. Once were proud. I'm really sorry, younger generation. I'm really sorry. I apologise on behalf of my people, my group. And speaking of sorry, you know, I can only say sorry so often. I lived an inglorious life early on. It was just self-gratuitous, so carnal. And I've apologised over and over and over. It was like that show I was trying to tell you about, I couldn't remember. My Name is Earl, where he won $1 million or a couple $1 million, and he went back and tried to fix things with people he'd hurt in the past. Well, I don't have that money, and I can't go back and fix those things. All I can say is sorry. Now, if you don't allow yourself to move on from that, I'm not going to stay there and be beholden to you. You will not hold me captive in your own space, in your own memories, in your own energies. I'm not going to do it. I'm moving forward. I have to. I can be of no use to anybody unless I move forward and leave that behind. It's not that I'm not sorry, I am. But I can do no more. I can't do any more. I have things to do, places to go, people to see, shit to do. Can't be stuck in your shit. Move on. Get ready. You know, speaking to my wonderful friend Kimmy this morning, and I mentioned that I've tried to do these interviews with people. And I thought I had some lined up. And it's quite fascinating that these people who are, in essence, influenced of some sort, they're large followings, or whatever might be the case, some of them, they responded in the affirmative, said, yeah, oh, no worries, we'll do an interview, that's not a problem. And then, of course, there's been no follow-up. I can't track them down. I can't get a hold of them. I can't set times. I guess my videos haven't got a big enough following. Maybe they're not professional enough. Maybe I'm not a great enough speaker. Maybe I'm not a very good interviewer. All sorts of shit. Tick every box. Don't give a fuck. Or maybe, just maybe, they're not who they say they are or portray themselves to be. I'm nobody. I can happily say that. I'm not out to get 1 million followers. I'm not. Even Jesus said, If there was one sheep missing from the paddock and he came back for that one sheep, that would be a reason for him to come back and get that one sheep and return it to the flock. If somebody watches any of my videos, one, and I've said this over and over and over, just one, and says, wow, I needed to hear that. Thank you for that. I've shared that with someone and they're grateful for it. My work's done. I don't have to have 1 million followers to do that. I just need one. The one person who needs to hear what's said. Fear. My Christian friends who I've tried to interview here and there, believe me, and please, if you're watching this and you're one of my Christian friends, it may not be for you. I've got plenty, believe it or not. And I've tried to do interviews and I can't track anybody down. And I'm afraid that they're living in fear. So I just want to say to you this. God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. In fact, biblically speaking, fear is a sin. Fear is a sin. You cannot have faith and trust in God if you live in fear. If you believe in a higher power, higher energies, then you should be moving forward in that. Don't be being dragged back out of the light. Move forward. Don't be afraid of the consequences. Be excited about what might happen. And that's when change begins. Peace and light, that old guy Australia. That's my rant for today. I don't script it. It is what it is. Like, share, subscribe. If you want to, hit the notification button because nobody's getting any notifications. Thanks, Mark Zucker. And we'll catch you soon.